Oh, this is pretty trippy on this little tripod thing. Hey guys, it's Caleb. Welcome to another video. Man, I was procrastinating this one a whole lot. We're gonna go through my hobby setup. I don't know if you know, but I'm an avid war gamer, quote unquote. I don't play any of the games yet, but I've read a lot of the rules, did a deep dive on some of the Warhammer 40K, Age of Sigmar, Lord of the Rings, even in a little bit of Trench Crusade. But I just want to give you guys like a little hobby setup type thing in my house. My rented space that is also a house. Very confusing. Just a quick overview because I want to do more deep dive videos on the different aspects of the wargaming hobby and the models that I collect. And they're very varied across all sorts of different types of games. And even within the same games, a lot of varied models within the different factions of that particular game. But let's get cracking right into it. Starting off, we have the storage shelf here. Don't mind all that stuff on the floor. That's all my GoPro stuff. On the bottom shelf here, I just have like random tools and knickknacks for just regular home stuff. On the second shelf, we kind of have like a little playmat there, a little GoPro camera, some paper towels, always very important, and hiding in there is like a little Playmobil toy that I converted into a Momokill many years ago. Very cool. I have my Dremel, my headphones for all those gaming type stuff. I have some wine glasses there that were a painting project with me and my wife. And over here I have all my sprays, a lot of varnishes, undercoating type stuff. I'll show you more about the application of some of those later. Up top here, we have Rohan Warrior project for my Lord of the Rings section of miniatures that I have going on. One has a slightly darker coat of yellow than the other one. Here's all my painting supplies, my paintbrushes, different various sizes and whatnot. Basically just like I throw everything there. Anything that I don't commonly use as a paintbrush I kind of throw there. There's half of a fell beast, pretty cool. Pocket knife for whatever reason. Little like lichen that I can put on bases sometimes to simulate brush. And on this tray, there's a Chaos Demon for Warhammer back there. It's the older model. They recently released a newer sculpt of it. That's the older one. And because I don't play that game, even though I collect some of the models for Warhammer, I am in the process of converting that into a Balrog for the Lord of the Rings miniature game. And so I picked it out a long time ago, but now it's here. Over here we have the Necromancer, which is an old paint job I did. Very cool. I don't know if I'm going to change him or not. And then here I have a what's his name? Shigarath? I don't know. He's for Warhammer 40K. Very plastic, very light. I converted him a little bit. I put some wings on his back that were just hands from a different Chaos Demon. Just give him a little bit more oomph. And then over here are like I forget what the game's called, but some kind of Marvel sort of card game with miniatures. The miniatures don't do anything. They're just kind of there to represent the people. But anyway, anywho's. On top here I have all my painting supplies. These are all my speed paints made by Army Painter. I got these a while ago. I'll talk more about contrast paints and speed paints in a later video, but I'm really happy with the way they do stuff and things. Here I have some AK splatter effects, dry mud, wet mud. I'm going to eventually experiment with those as terrain accents. I don't know if I'm going to be applying them to miniatures. Here I have Uhu glue. I heard really good things about this. It's a very sticky kind of glue. I think it's Swedish or Danish or something like that. You can spread it over weapons and hands and claws and stuff like that, and then once you paint that goo red, it looks like gore a little bit. Green stuff, Tamiya extra thin cement mixed with some leftover sprues from the hobby. Make it the sprue goo, which is good for filling holes and whatnot. I have some Lord of the Rings minis in here that I'm just kind of off to the side. Some are worked on, some aren't. Other random stuff, brush cleaner, AK Ultra Matte Varnish just for tidying up the minis. Craft glue. Craft glue is a must, especially for basing if you're trying to get dirt down. Super glue for obvious reasons. I always use very cheap acrylic, black, white, and gray, and also brown paint. just to get a bulk of, like if I need a bulk job done for basing or something like that, I'll use those. And here's my computer setup. This is where I spend a lot of my time gaming and editing videos, but also, you know, painting for obvious reasons. And right here I'm working on some Morannon orcs for the Lord of the Rings Treasure Deep Battle game. I'll give you a closer up view on that once I do a video project on like what my current projects are going on. I'll give you the ins and the outs of all that. And then also over here I have some speed paints and regular paints that I'm using commonly to touch up some projects I have going on. There's a sliding table here, which I keep a box of my Citadel paints and other full coverage paints, as you will. Contrast is a very translucent, transparent type of color paint, but the Citadel paints do like a full coverage kind of thing. So I use those for undercoats, for highlights, and just like finishing touches on the models rather than it being the primary painting source. And down here I have a lot of dry brush paints. I'll explain that in a different video. A lot of metallics, and even some like technical paints. This is Blood for the Blood God. This is what you would paint over that ooh-hoo glue to kind of make into gore. But yeah, a lot of metallic paints I just keep down there. This is my paint mixer. Sometimes with the paints, they kind of get all clumpy and the colors start separating. Even if they're newer paints, they just tend to do that sometimes. So what I got this to do is you just insert it on top and push. Vibrates a little bit, and I give it like 10 seconds or so, and it mixes up the paint, ready to go. Down here I have a whole bunch of Lord of the Rings figures. Actually, most of this is Lord of the Rings. I don't know if you can see that well, but on the bottom shelf there, that's a lot of older paint jobs. There's Gondor, Uruk-hai, Goblin Town that I have. I'm either thinking of just leaving or repainting over. I'm not sure yet. I've been doing a lot of repainting of older models recently. On the top shelf, we also have more Goblin Town. We have some Samurai in the back from a different war game that I was kind of interested in many years ago. These are some resin 3D printed Nazgul that I painted up when I first got back into the hobby, like as an actual like putting time aside to do it kind of thing a couple months back. Some older models like Aragorn and Gimli back there, some dwarves and hobbits and whatnot. There's just a random dwarf right here. Also some Rohan figures. We got Gamling, Eowyn on horse and foot. Technically that's her persona when she entered the Pelennor. I forget her name. Durnhelm, that's her name. That's the name she used when she rode into battle at the end of Return of the King. Over here we have mainly my Goblin army. I'm sorry if it's kind of dark. These wargs aren't part of the Goblin army. You cannot take... You can take wild wargs if you take the Beast Caller Shaman. I forget his name. But those are for my Angmar army, and there's some bats in the back. A lot of these are original Lord of the Rings commissioned models. Some of them are 3D prints because of saving money and whatnot. Even got Sharku here. Sharku doesn't have any friends except for a couple of wargs. So lonely. And then down here, it's a whole bunch of Age of Sigmar stuff. I forget what the faction's called. Like, there's a couple blood letters there that for Chaos. A lot of like human chaos warriors, and also a lot of angel dudes. Forget what they're called. No, the bronze angel armored warriors. Crap. Ah, well, you can roast me in the comments. Don't worry about my trash. There's a sand bucket. I use that for basing. Unlimited sand. Also, it's good for the winter time. And then don't mind all this in the corner. This is all junk. This is all VHSs and old technology and whatnot. Down in here, this is all my crafting stuff. There's a lot of basing material, a lot of PVA glue, a lot of trees and shrubberies and different various kinds of stuff. Down there, that's a lot of, if you recall the Reaper company, they have these models that are under the Bones miniature category. Very cheap plastic, very rubbery, hard to paint. Paint chips off a lot. I'm not really too pleased with the workmanship on those. Those are all old. In here is my Mordor / Angmar army. I'll give you guys a closer up view of that at a later point. I painted a majority of that stuff when I got back into the hobby a couple months ago. Very, very cool stuff. There's also like random other bits and bobs down there. A lot of older Dungeons and Dragons like Ral Partha, if you know Ral Partha. A lot of like older like metal and lead minis. Here, let's do it like that. And then I think that's pretty much it for my hobby stuff. Pretty sure. I wanted to get into scenery and like doing like the foam cutting and everything like that to actually make a gaming board. I don't have a gaming board. I want to do that eventually, but I think that's just going to come at a later time once I find the courage to like start doing that. And I know that the MDF foam that you can buy from Home Depot, it's not crazy expensive, but it's a little bit of investment to get into. And I mean, as you can see here, let me pop open. It's not a huge space here. I mean, it's not a lot of storage space. Like, where would I put it? Would I put it in the shed? I could put it in the shed. Is that gonna get damaged because of rain, cold, hot, humid, bugs? I don't know. So, not too sure what I want to do with the whole scenery type stuff. But yeah, that's kind of like the general layout of my hobby, work, area, location, and I'll make more videos going deeper into the armies themselves. Maybe do like a video in army and kind of just do like a close-up breakdown of the units. I don't know how well they work in the individual games, especially Warhammer. I'm not versed in Warhammer at all, but just doing like a walkthrough of each of the different factions I own, I think would be pretty cool. Let me know if you want to see that. I still might make it, and people can watch it if they want. If not, that's totally fine. Not your thing. But I think that's gonna do it. I'm gonna get myself a coffee. Coffee sounds good.